What is up, guys? So I'm back making another video because the last one I posted actually did pretty well for me not posting for 8, 9, 10 months. So I wanted to come on here and go ahead and make a video of all the aftermarket stuff that I've done to the Buggy. So anyone kind of new here, it's a 2024 Cfmoto uforce 1000. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and I'll kind of give y'all a walk around and show y'all everything I've done. So first off, what you'll see is we have a flip out windshield. I got it off a guy off Marketplace. It was a couple $100. It was brand new. His wife actually bought one the same time he bought one. They didn't know. These are junk. Buy a Super ATV or another brand windshield, because these shocks right here, as you'll see, it is leaking grease and they no longer hold up. There's no tension on that shock at all. So next up, we have a aftermarket back glass that's been pre-tinted. No complaints with this really. Kind of easy install, no real issues out of it. Now next up, we have a Boss Audio, I think 26-inch soundbar. It does good. Don't ever lose your remote because it's got LED lights all through here and it will blind you at night. So moving towards the front of this thing, of course, the Cfmotos come factory with a 3,500 pound winch and synthetic winch rope. I did a 6-inch light bar, which is seeping water, no clue why. As well as I have Super ATV forward arms with the RNG brass bushings. The arms are great, and you know, they're beefy. I wouldn't recommend buying their ball joints. These little grease zerks that they have on here, these fittings, they like to break off and then you can't grease them. We have Super ATV swagged tie rod ends. I do plan on replacing those when I replace the front rack because it's on the way out. Next up, we have some 23.5-inch long shocks. There's the part number right there. I'm not sure if it'll pull up, but they come off a Polaris Ranger 1000 with a 6-inch long travel. I did this because it gave me more length to stretch everything out, and they're a little bit softer, so it rides better than the factory shock. Next up, we have, of course, the Super ATV 6-inch portals. They're 45% reduction, and they've been great so far. I went ahead and changed out the brake-in fluid, and no issues out of them yet. Now, when you do these, you've got to replace the front brake lines, and they go to your brake booster master cylinder thing, and it's nearly impossible to actually bleed them correctly. So the brakes halfway work 95% of the time. So with all that, we have 40-inch quad boss 688s on the Buggy with 24-inch System 3 wheels. The rear is actually primarily stock, so the rear arms are factory. I did that to keep a shorter wheelbase. I've got a 3-inch Can-Am Defender puck on my rear springs, and then a 2-inch bracket lift on the bottom. It gives it great angle. I say great, but it's definitely high angle. And then of course, if you look, I have done a at-home snorkel job on it. Took me about a day to do it by myself. It wasn't horribly hard, but definitely could have used a second pair of hands. I just now got it sealed up completely. So other than the things that I kind of named off for y'all, it's pretty much stock to the core. I do have a EPI 30-inch. They call it the Mutter kit off eBay. I went with EPI. Nothing against MSC or RNG. Just want to put that out there. But EPI has been in this game for many, many, many years. And they started out with snowmobiles, and someone who knows the CVT transmission like that along with, you know, primary, secondary clutching. I went with EPI because they were the longest in the game. But all in all, you know, we have some decent amount of work done. Everything engine-wise is pretty much stock. I haven't done anything crazy with that. I don't plan on it. They do make a high compression kit and I think a big bore kit. But for the type of riding I do, I start doing stuff like that. I sink it once, I've got to rebuild it. If I sink this buggy now, I should be fine to go ahead and, you know, get it back on the road without a rebuild. But to give y'all kind of a size reference, I'm 6 foot tall. The fender here is above my shoulder. I'm eye to eye with the steering wheel. But that's the stuff that I've done to the buggy so far, as well as a 12-piece rock light kit, just to kind of light it up, make it look cool at night when I'm riding. But we're actually going to be at Savage this Saturday for the Memorial Day ride. I'm going to be out here with the buggy, kind of testing out on the 40s. I have not actually ran it on the 40s yet. We're going to see how it does. I do have a little bit of rubbing on full lock, but who cares if you're rubbing a little bit. But this is my 2024 Cfmoto uforce 1000. It does everything I want it to, need it to, and it's held up decently well. Some of the repairs I've had done was when I first got the buggy, I broke a brake caliper. That was said in the last video. I did tear the boot on the rear left axle whenever I did the brake caliper situation, and when I did that, you know, I had to buy a new axle because the boot tore. And I've blown a belt, I've blown the primary clutch. Main reasoning behind that was I'm trying to do stuff with this thing I really shouldn't be doing at all. So, you know, you kind of expect things to break. And then my lower base gaskets were replaced as well. I think that I mentioned that in the last video. Got those swapped out because whoever the poor sucker was that manufactured this engine used gasket maker instead of a gasket, and it eventually blew. It only took like 50 hours to blow. But this is my 2024 Cfmoto uforce 1000, and that's the things that I've had done to it. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video and come back for more content when I start recording riding and stuff. If I do that, hopefully I'll do that. All depends. But I hope y'all have a great and blessed day, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.